Hello, my name is Abdi Omar. My group and I were focusing on Chapter 7, and my part is figurative language. So Gatsby calls off all his parties and dismisses his servants because of Daisy. He tells Nick that Daisy comes over quite often in the afternoon. One day, Gatsby, Daisy, Tom, Nick, and Jordan are having lunch in New York City on the hottest day of summer. And the author uses the hottest day of summer because it's pretty intense and things are getting heated. Sitting across from one another are Daisy and Gatsby, and Tom figures out that they're having an affair because of the way they're looking at each other, and it just gets awkward and things get suspicious. Well, the weather changes towards the end of the chapter after Tom gets Daisy, and the weather cools off and breeze comes. Toward the end of the chapter, Nick talks about Jordan and how she doesn't want to go to the past or anything. And he says, 30, the promise of a decade of loneliness, a thinning list of single men to know, a thinning briefcase of enthusiasm, and thinning hair. He's basically saying that she's 30 and there's not going to be a lot of men that wants to do a lot of stuff. They lose hair. They just say, go to work every day. That's my part.
True love is seen as the bond of love, trust, and completeness between two people which is stronger than anything else. It is a never-ending relationship and will stay forever no matter what will happen. True love is often seen in movies, for example The Great Gatsby, between the characters, and shown as never-ending love even after years of being apart from each other. So where is this in the book? We can definitely tell that the true love is in The Great Gatsby between the millionaire Jay Gatsby and the beautiful Daisy Butcherman. The first time they met is shown to us in Chapter 8, where Nick and Gatsby talk about how Daisy and Gatsby met for the first time when Nick is having a hard time sleeping after Merle's death. They promised themselves to wait for each other after Gatsby lied to her about his past and has to leave for the war. When they first meet again after 5 years in Chapter 5, they still have feelings for each other even after all these years. The scene in Chapter 7 where Daisy tells in front of Gatsby, Tom, and Nick that she loves Gatsby is a proof for true love. Is true love a myth or not? After an article from the newspaper The Telegraph, 73% of the relationships today don't work out over long terms. But the question was asked if there's something like true love, and even if it just 27% of the relationships work out, says that these people are happy with each other after all these years. So even when the chances are small, there's still something close enough that we could call true love. That was my part.
Hi, my name is Ivy, and we did Chapter 7 of The Great Gatsby. So I did characterization. I was talking about George Wilson. In Chapter 2, Wilson was a blonde, spiritless man, anemic, and faintly handsome, having a damp gleam of hope springing into his eyes after seeing Tom and Nick. Later on in Chapter 7, George Wilson was seen standing on the raised threshold of his office, swaying back and forth and holding to the doorposts with both hands, showing nervousness and quite likely anxiety or even signs of anxiety. As the chapters go on, George becomes less and less of his own man and more of his wife's until the 7th chapter, when Myrtle gets hit by a car and killed. Then he is more quiet and keeps to himself rather than before, when he would laugh colorlessly when spoken to. And that is my part.
So the American dream in the book The Great Gatsby is to achieve fame, friends, and money independent from your society standpoint.
And being able to fit in with any society or group of people that you want. For example, Gatsby, his dream is to get Daisy. At first he starts off with just reaching out his hands and going for the light. But in the end of Chapter 7, he goes into the green light's deck and goes to Daisy's house.
As with today's society, we just want to pursue our dreams, and yeah, that's pretty much it.